Logs get a bad rap. I kind of like logs. It's just a different way of thinking, and you're doing the same stuff that you really kind of know how to do. Without saying equals x, that might be confusing, but if you remember, this is just 2 to the x power equals 256. Okay? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128, times 2 is 256. I was counting with my fingers the whole time. You can't see them all, but I've got 5 on one hand, I've got 2 at the other. That's 2 to the 7th power, x equals 7. This one here is 16 to the what power equals 1. Well, the only thing that's going to turn a 16 into a 1 is a 0 power. Here I've got 2 to the what power equals 1 over 64. Well, you didn't see me counting before, but 2 to the 6th power, wait, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 28. Boy, I'm glad I did that. That's to the 8th power. So that's to the 8th power, 256. Back to this, 2 to the 6th power is 64, but it's upside down. So if I said 2 to the 6th, that would be 64, but to flip it, it's going to have to be a negative 6. Negative 6, 2 to the negative power becomes 1 over 2 to the power. 2 to the 6th power is equal to 64. All right. 64 to the what power is equal to 8. Well, that's, if I said what can I do to 64? Well, I can take the square root of it to turn it into an 8. Well, I don't want a square root. I want a power. Well, square root is a power if you do a fraction. 64 to the 1/2 power is the same thing as saying the square root of 64, which is equal to 8. So the answer is 1/2 power.